Hello my friends, welcome to my first guitar masterclass, if you like, for beginners. This is a lesson to show you the basics, all right? The basics, starting from the very beginning, because I've noticed from my analytics that a lot of you out there, you're new to the guitar, and it's all very well for me to put these little complicated things up on a Saturday, as I've been doing, but a lot of you can't join in with them because you're not really sure what to do. So this series of lessons is designed specifically for you, those who have just started playing, that have got a guitar, maybe for Christmas, maybe you're retired and you've just thought, I'm going to buy that guitar I've always wanted, but I don't know how to play the damn thing. All right, so this series lesson, I might do about 4 or 5, see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. It's designed for you, okay? For the more complicated stuff, look back at my other vids, or you join me every Saturday when I'll be uploading other things as well. So basics, you've got your guitar, you're sitting with it on your knee. How do I do it? How do I hold the damn thing for a start? Well, first of all, you want it to be flush with your body, 90 degrees to the floor. We want to try and avoid having it like this, which will be your inclination to see what you're doing. But when you do that, your fingers will be slopping all over the strings. So if ever that happens and you can't hear each string, it's probably because you're doing something like that. First thing we need to do once we've sitting with the guitar and you're comfortable is tuning it up, okay? Now I would strongly recommend you buy one of these. It's called a Snark tuner, all right? In the olden days, of course, we had to do it by ear. Somebody would ping out an E or an A or something, we'd have to tune in by ear. But we always use these now. All professionals use these, non-professionals, and I'll show you how they work now. So the strings starting from the bass down, we've got E, A, D, G, B, and E, the octave. How can we remember what those notes are? Well, think of this daft rhyme: elephants, E, and donkeys grow big ears. Elephants and donkeys grow big ears. Don't say it in public, of course, because you look stupid, but that's how you remember, okay? You can think of another. There's another one that goes, Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. I don't like that one, because for me goodbye is one word, not goodbye. If you went goodbye, it sounds like you're buying a car, good, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Think of the one I said. I like that one. Elephants and donkeys grow big ears. All right, now let's have a look at this. This is the tuner, okay? Now obviously you're looking for the little thing to come right into the middle. E, A, D, G, B, E. This is clearly in tune. If I put it out of tune, I'll put a few of these out of tune. Okay, kids have come round, been messing with your guitar, Oh dear, now we've got to get that. It's gone over the hill, hasn't it? So we have to bring it down. Now whenever I tune up, I always take it below the note that we want, and then I tighten up to it. That way any slack that's in the string you get rid of, okay? There's the A, that was okay, that one. I didn't touch this one because it's got that on it. Let's put that out of tune, shall we? Alright, so we need to bring that up. And when you're tuning, keep hitting the string as you turn in the key. And you'll see that little marker get nearer and nearer to where we want it. There we go. Okay. Same with the B. Oh, now that one's too far over the hill, so bring it just below. Always good to get below it and then tighten up to it. Okay. There we are. Elephants and donkeys grow big ears. Cool. That's how you tune up. Now, There are other ways to do it by ear, but I wouldn't do that. It'd take you a long time to develop your ears well enough to be able to do that. So invest in one of these. They're pretty cheap. You can get them for about 20 quid, $20 or whatever. It's called a Snark. They're the best ones you can get, okay? Snark. Get one of those. So we're in tune. Our guitar is nice and flush with our body, okay? We've got our plectrum. Now with a plectrum, don't get something that's too thin, like a bus ticket. But then again, don't get something that's too heavy, you know, like a coin. You want something. I always use something that's about 0.73, not 0.73, that way. I don't know whether you can see that. I always use these. Can you see that? 0.73 there. You know. Now, how do you hold your plec? Well, don't hold it like this. Okay, like a monkey holding an onion in a zoo. Hold it with, you know, like this. Keep the other fingers free, because at some time in the future you're going to want to use those. Okay, so that's how you do it. Hold your plec 90 degrees to your thumb. You see that? There we are. And you just put it towards the thing. Now, when you start playing, don't start rushing into your first song yet. Just get used to blocking the strings off by doing this, so you're not making a noise and getting yourself into trouble with the neighbours or your wife or your husband or wherever. Careful what I say here. And then we just allow your hand to do this. We're going to just do a straight count. Now, there are two types of strum. There's a straight strum, which is this. Like a ticking clock, isn't it? Or there's what's called a swing strum, or a shuffle. You'll know it when you hear it. It's like a sort of cowboy. The straight one is more of an urgent rhythm, and the other one is more laid back. And they're the main two strums, all right, that there are. Now, clearly, you can take ups and downs from those. We'll get into that in a minute, okay? I'm going to do that in a minute. First thing I want you to do is to download there's a few little bits of paper. There's a link below. It's all free. Download this paperwork. There's about 4 pages. The first page, page 1, shows you some chord progressions. Now, I've put these in an order that you will use all the time. This will probably be the most important piece of paper in your guitar playing career, all right? Honestly, I want you to look at the first sequence of chords. We've got a G and then an E with a little M next to it. What does that mean? E minor. Then we've got an A with a little M, A minor, and then a D7, D7th, all right? G, E minor, A minor, and D7th, all right? And we will just play this pattern of chords, the same 4 pattern, the series of 4. Then we'll move on to here and here, and you'll see that the same chords pop up all the time. The important thing, it's the pattern that they're in. So, for example, I'm going to try and play the chord G, all right? My left hand, all my fingers have got numbers from the thumb, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you will notice when you look at this diagram, which is like a little plan of the guitar, that these dots that represent where your fingers go, they have corresponding numbers next to them. That's to tell you which finger you use to play the chord, all right? So for example, the G, we've got 1 here, we've got 1 here, and we've got 1 down here, okay? And it sounds cool, all right? G. And just get used to the sound. Don't try and do anything flash. The next chord we're going to play is an E minor. So these two fingers that are as far apart as they can ever be on the guitar, they're going to come together to be as near as they can be on the guitar, playing an E minor, fingers 2 and 3 at the 2nd fret. Alright, so we've got our G, where the fingers are stretched far apart, and this one is here, and then an E minor. We'll then drop these 2 fingers down, 1 string each, and then we'll add our first finger to the 2nd string at the 1st fret to play an A minor. And then finally we'll leave this first finger where it is. We'll drop these 2 down here, 1 on the 3rd string, 1 on the 1st string in the same fret, That's a D7th. Now whenever you see a little cross over one of these diagrams, for example over the D, what you will do is you'll try and mute it with your thumb. That means just let your thumb touch it. Or in this, if you can't do that just yet, just try not to play it. If you do play it, don't worry about it, but you know, eventually you'll mute that off. So we've got this series of 4 chords. Now, there's thousands of songs that are written around that particular progression. What, I can hear you say, well, Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pull my trigger, now he's dead. There's one. Or, what else can we do? Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Or, for all you people who are like 70 plus, Blue Moon, I saw you standing alone, and so on and so on. The point is, they are the building blocks. Those 4 chords are the building blocks to hundreds of different songs, and if you learn how to play them in that particular pattern, all right, it's like a pizza base, you know, you then plonk on top your song, all right, because always remember that when we play guitar like this, we are the accompaniment to the song. This isn't the song that we're playing, we're just playing the chords. The song is what you're going to sing, and the melody that you're going to sing too, if you like, all right. So there's your first sequence of chords. The second sequence, you can do a lot of this stuff when I've gone, all right. So the second sequence, D, what is it? D, G and A. Now we know G because we've just played it, so we'll know that one, okay. And I always bounce back to the one of the chords again, just to give it a pattern, you know, because it sounds better. All right. So we've got a D. It's a bit like a D7 that we played before, but it's pointing the other way, if you like. 1, 2, and 3. We've got a G, same as we did on the first shape. We've got an A, which is 3. You're 4, 3 and 2 all in the same fret. Some people play it with 1, 2 and 3. I don't, because my fingers are quite broad, or they are as I'm getting older. I use these 3 fingers. I find it much easier, and it's beneficial, as you'll find out as we keep the lessons going. There's our A, and then back to G. So D, G, and A, and G. Now you can, again, it should, you'll think, hang on, I'm sure I've heard that before, those progressions. Well, you have. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. Wild thing. You make my heart sing. There's thousands of them. D. G. A. I could go on and on. Forgive my my vocals, you know, I wasn't expecting to be doing anything. But you get the idea, don't you? You know, D, G and A. Now the next one is A, D and E. Okay, so let's have a look at it again. Have a look at it again. By the time you get to this one, you'll know G, because we've already done it. Where are we? Yeah, we know A, we've played that one. What's this one? D, we know that, because we've played that one. E, we don't know that one yet, but we know these 2 fingers because we played it here. We've just got an extra finger, that's to make an E, or E major as it's given its proper name, but we ought to refer to it as E. Let me play that one. So we've got an A, a D. Now the best way to get to an E from there is this finger here. Just move it 1 fret to your left, and then put those 2 fingers back where they were. You know when you did the at E minor, second chord we played, that's E major or E. And then when you want to go back to the D, those chords in particular are really, really important, you know. chords like A, I mean, watch this. I'm just going to play that one chord. You can see how brilliant guitar riffs are made simply with one shape. You know, we can do all that sort of stuff nice and easy. And then finally you've got E, A and B seventh. These are at the bottom here. E, A, B7 and back to an A. E, we know that one, we've played it already. A, we know that one, we've played it already. B7th we've never done. First finger on the 4th string at the 1st fret. Second finger here at the 5th. This one on the 3rd and this one right down here. We use that for blues a lot. E, A, B7. It's great for things like this. Bluesy stuff. Alright, so I really want you to get your head around playing those 4 sequences. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't play them all in one go, just pick on one that you like. And don't be afraid of that G. That G is going to be your best friend. It's one of the most important chords you'll ever learn to play. There's other ways of playing it, but I want you to play it like that for now. Okay, so that's page 1. We've looked at that. Now let's assume that we're sort of quite comfortable with our chords. Let's look, for example, let's just look at E minor and A minor of the first sequence. Let's forget about the G and let's forget about this. Let's just concentrate on those 2 shapes. I say that because they are the easiest shapes, okay? So let's forget about these 2 for now, because what I want to do now is show you how to strum so you can put something together, all right? So we'll start on our E minor, which is those 2 fingers there, and then the A minor, we're going to drop them down to there and add your first finger to the 1st string of the 2nd fret. Now, if you look at page 2 on the downloads that you've got just done, you'll see these are the 3 most important strumming patterns that you'll ever know. The first one is what we're going to do now, and you'll notice it just goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the pleck is going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's what we're going to do now. Then you can get different patterns from that where your hand will still move. This one goes down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And then sort of this one here, which is like a sort of stuck in the middle with you, will go down, up, down, up. And I'll demonstrate them to you now. So we're looking at our strumming patterns and we're going to play an E minor and we're going to play 1 bar. What does that mean? We're going to use a straight rhythm, which is this. And we're going to count it like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And on the and after the 4, whatever you're doing here, you're going to bring the fingers off and you're going to play the strings with nothing on there. Alright, just do it, it's going to sound great. Okay, so we're going to start with E minor, this one here. I'm going to play it nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, I'm bringing my fingers off, exaggerating, of course, you know, because it's just to demonstrate that your fingers come off. I'll do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In actual fact, the way I'm going to do it in reality, right, if I look this way, as I bring the fingers off, I'm going to keep those 2 fingers together and I'm going to bring them down and plonk them on to the A minor with this finger. So I was there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I'm going to put them on the A minor and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and while I'm hitting the strings open, I go back to the first shape. Now, that should remind you, it's already reminding me of songs. If I was to do a couple of bars on that, say, starting on the A minor. It's what's the name of the song? REM. Consider this, you'll hit up the century. Losing My Religion. Okay, that's what that is, and a bit more. But you know, the bulk of it reminds me of another one as well. You say you will love me. Paul McCartney. What was it? What kind of things we said today? Okay, so we're going to practice that first pattern here with those two chords. There it is again. We're going to do this one. All right, and you'll see that the arrows are indicating your pluck direction, and I've actually put down here DU, meaning down up. I'm not being sarcastic. I just wanted to get it right. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. All right, and we're going to do one bar on each of these chords, starting here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Now that's where you're striking all the strings on every beat and half beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a half beat, incidentally, is an upstroke of your pluck. That's all it means, all right? Let's look at sequence number 2. Now this is really popular, this one. You'll know it as soon as I play it. But you'll see that there are some hashes in there, and you're just going to highlight particular downs or ups, okay? So don't ever fear these things. Some people say, oh, there's hundreds and hundreds of different strumming patterns. What they mean is you're going to do this. So I'll do it up over the strings. Now if you look at number 2, you'll see that it's going down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. My hand's still moving in exactly the same way it was with sequence 1, but I'm only going to hit the ones I want to hear. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 and get that chant in your head. All right, this is how you remember these things. I'll play the E minor and I'll do the strum. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. And again, moving from the E minor to the A minor because they're nice and easy chords. Making sure they're on the upstroke before you change to the next one. You bring your fingers off and you hit the strings with nothing on. Do not fear doing that. It's the only way you get from one chord to another. I'll do it again. Watch my fingers. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. Great, it's a great strum. You'll recognise it instantly. The third sequence, you know, is a little bit more complicated, but it's the same principle, okay? Down, up, down, up, okay? I'll use the chord D to demonstrate this one. Stuck in the middle with you, all right? But that's that one. Work on that one later on. If you can get those 3 strumming patterns together, then you'll be able to play, you know, hundreds and hundreds of different songs, okay? Now, I was using a straight rhythm. Let's go back to the first one. I was using a straight rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Let's do the same chord shapes, but let's use a shuffle rhythm with like a swing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. That's sequence 1, sequence 2. And then sequence 3. Sequence 3 doesn't really work with the shuffle rhythm, so you know that's one if you're going to do stuck in the middle with you, stuff like that. Don't worry about 3 for now. 1 and 2, they're the most important ones. Okay, so we've done that. Now when you get to your third page, you'll notice that it's another bunch of chords, another bunch of interesting sequences to learn. Okay, I wanted to make sure that we got some strumming in there to start with. All right, so on sheet 3 we've got G, and we play our G like this now. There's lots of ways of playing G. You'll notice there's a couple more fingers on. We've got a C add 9, which has a fancy name for doing this. Take those 2 fingers and put them down there. Then we've got a D, and then a C add 9. Take me down. What can we play with these? Little bit of David Bowie, maybe. Second sequence: C, A minor, D minor, G7. Again, just dip in and out of these. Don't learn them all at once. Just learn a couple of patterns. Third one: A minor, D minor, E7th. Oh, it's more difficult. It's got an extra bit at the end. 7th. No, it isn't. Usually when the chord gets longer by name, it means less fingers. In this case, E is there, E7th, E. It's only 2 fingers. Okay, then back to your D minor. Same strum. And then we've got, finally on this one, we've got C. Now F, I don't like the chord F. I hated it as a kid. We'll do a simplified version for now. Take these 3 fingers and move them all down 1 string, and this finger lie it across 2 strings and mute the bass string. And then your G, again you'll play it a different way again by using 2, 3 and 4. And then back to F. Now that's a little bit further down the line. Don't worry about that. In fact, I did a review on that Playing a Day book, and I was having to go at it because it shows you how to play C as the first thing you learn. You'll notice I've deliberately made C and F the last thing that we're going to do, because if I were to show you that at the beginning, you'd have already gone. You'd have already been watching Mickey Mouse or something. Alright, so we've done that. Now, I want you to really concentrate on the strumming patterns, the chord sequences. That's really important. And of course the tuning thing, you can learn how to do all that. Let's learn to play one song before we go all the way through, okay? It's a song by a band called America. I've covered this before on other things, but it uses 2 chords, all right? That's all you need to play it, and you're going to use a shuffle rhythm. So you're going to use this rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, that's all we're going to do. And the 2 chords we're going to play, if you look at your page 4, you'll see these. Now one of these chords is E minor, nice and easy. Right, see that there, E minor. You can all do that, can't you? Because you'll know how to do it by now, because we'd have covered it a few times. And then the next chord you're going to play is an E9 sus4 with an added F sharp. Oh no, it's a fancy name for saying this one. Bring this one up and bring this one down. That's all it means. Okay, don't forget, the fancier the name, usually, not always, but usually, the easier the shape. In this case, all we need to know, we could call that chord Steve. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you know how to play it. You can always learn the name of the chord later, as I did, because I didn't know what it was. I couldn't care less. Okay, I know what this one is, E minor, but that one I've not used that often, other than in this song. Okay, and all it is E minor, and we're gonna, when we come off, we're gonna bring this one up and this one down. So we've got one on the bass string and one on the third, and I'm gonna do 1 bar of the shuffle on one chord and then one on the next. All right, like so. These are the 2 chords. Let's listen to the chords. Here's the first one, E minor, and there's the E9 sus4. I'll just call it that. Okay. Can you see? And before you play, I want you to just do this in your head, say it out loud, and look at these fingers while you're doing it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and after the and, after the 4, bring your fingers off. While they're off, you're not waving at the milkman. You're getting them ready, so you're splitting them apart, ready to get on for the 1. You must leave on the and after the 4, but you must be on for the 1. Always, in any song you ever play, you can never miss the 1. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 then we practice the right hand, and 2 and 3 and 4. We're just moving it up and down, nothing fancy, just keep it steady. Then we'll put bits together, starting with the E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. On the first part of the journey, I was looking at all the life. Now that song, if you play that to the record, I'm not going to play the record because they'll give me a copyright strike, but if you play those two chords from the beginning of that song to the end, that's how you do it. That's all you've got to do. Now clearly within the rhythmic pattern, you know, you'll hear that them doing things like, you know, you can tell them they've embellished it slightly. But if you were to turn the sound off on the video when you're watching them, the hand's always moving. Always watch when you're watching your videos of bands playing, mainly when they're playing live, not when they're in the studio on top of the pops or doing a TV thing where they're miming, because half the time you know, they can be playing a completely different song. It doesn't matter because it's a pre-record. Okay, so anyway, we've had a look at our basics. All right, now I'm not going to go into the details of learning all the notes on the fretboard at this stage of the game. The important thing is that you learn how to get a sound out of the guitar. You can strum a few chord patterns. By doing that, it will inspire you to want to learn how to do more. All right, we don't want to start off by learning how to do all this, you know, theory nonsense, because too much theory is nonsense. If you know, it really is. The great players, they know enough, but they don't go into, you know, you find the people who bury their head in guitar books all the time, they've never done anything. They really haven't. You know, I know enough theory. I've made 10 albums in my time. What I suggest you do, so you know who I am, if you've never seen me before, is just put my name in a search engine, Rob Fennah, spelled Fennah, into Google or something, and it'll give you a little, well, there's a lot of history of some of the things that I've been involved in, albums and records and all that stuff, theatre. Some of it's quite amusing. I think you'll have a chuckle out of some of the bits in there. But have a look. But I managed to do all that, and this is my 50th professional year in the business, and I've never been out of work. I've always sustained a living through playing. So everything I'm telling you, I'm hoping that, you know, for any youngsters doing it, I can only relay the information that's kept me in work for 50 years. Other people might say, oh, you do it this way, you do it that way. I can only go from my personal experiences in how it's helped me to write musical play, you know, hit musical shows. I've hit records, written a few, a little gold album behind there, got a couple more downstairs, got bestseller awards there. You know, it's all to do with learning how to play as I'm showing you now. All right, so the proof of the pudding is always in the eating, isn't it? Okay, if you want to learn to be a pop star, learn it from somebody that's been a pop star. That's what I say. Right, I've bragged enough. I hope you've enjoyed that introduction. We're going to do it every Wednesday, just for beginners. We'll probably do about 3 or 4, maybe 5, 6. See how we get on. I'll look at the numbers. If the numbers are good, we'll do more. Don't forget, every Saturday we have another tutorial for the more advanced players. This week I'm going to do, what am I going to do? What can I do? I don't know. I'll think. I'll decide. If I say it now, I might change my mind. So listen, I hope you've enjoyed that. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Tell all your mates. Remember, everything on my channel, everything is free. Okay. So whatever you download, you're never going to get charged somewhere down the line for something. It's just I just want your company, and let's have some fun. All right. So get the guitar out, dust it down, do what I've said, break it down slowly, one sequence at a time, and you'll be fine. All right, and we'll pick it up next week. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.